Hello and welcome to Colin Bradley Artcast. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
How you doing, Dad?
I'm all right, Steve, thank you. Had a good week.
Good.
You had a good week? Well, not so much. Poor children are still a bit poorly, aren't they? But
Yeah,
having to
yeah,
cope with all of that. But
yeah. We couldn't record. I had like my voice was basically completely gone last week, and still wasn't 100% right. So it didn't feel right recording last week, and then throughout the week, this sort of like fluey cold has just gone round the entire lot of us, and then it's gone back round to the kids. So they've been unwell this week. So I decided not to live stream this podcast. We're recording it because there's a chance that the kids will wake up at some point. They're asleep, but it's been one of those weeks where they're not right. So rather than
no,
break off a live stream, I can edit this. so
right,
um so anyway, but yeah, we're all right otherwise. It's just this season of temperature dropping and everyone just getting a little bit of a cold and stuff, and it just nursery obviously perpetuates all of those germs and just dishes them out. So we've we've been suffering a little bit, but we're all right. We're okay. Nothing serious. Um, so yeah, so this week, we've had a couple of questions actually. We thought we'd take this week to sort of discuss a couple of things that come in because it's really nice to hear from students and see how people are getting on with the classes. And I'll start it off by an email that came in from Mary, and I found this so interesting. And thank you, Mary, so much for getting in touch with us. I'll read out her email. Um, Mary writes, I just had to write to let you know the positive impact Colin's teaching has had for my daughter. I am a homeschool mum, and my daughter, 13, has struggled to enjoy art. She has always found it stressful and been dissatisfied with her results. I found Colin on Udemy, and since one of the pastel pencil drawings was offered for free, we decided to give it a try. Art is now her favourite subject. Her picture was beautiful and she knew it was her work. We are trying a coloured pencil one next. We love how relaxed Colin is and how adamant he is that even starting with his sketch, it is still your own artwork. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving her this enjoyment and confidence. So I asked Mary if it was okay to talk about this on the podcast and to share her daughter's work, and she has sent it in. So I'm going to show that picture in a minute. But I just want to add on the follow up that from her email. She said she can't wait to start the next one. I'm attaching a few pictures. The joy on her face is such a breakthrough for us with art. I love that it uses so few pencils. Budget is a big thing with homeschooling, and that's really helped us able to try a new medium without having to invest loads of money. So let me go back to this screen. I just think that is lovely, and it's kind of there's a brilliant points raised by Mary in that these pictures are really good, and let's just show her daughter's work. I'll put that up on screen now. She's obviously done the free sunset, and I just think that's fantastic.
how old is she?
13.
She's got a future, no question about it. That's very,
Yeah.
very good. Yes.
And I would say that this is, of all of your free ones, this is a trickier one to do because it's not. I did it. I did this one when I hadn't really done any pastel work before, and I didn't find it that easy because I think the clouds are tough. It's quite easy. I found it quite easy to crush the paper at this point because of the darkness going on, like to get them dark enough. So especially that this isn't perhaps the easiest of all your free classes, even more kudos.
Mm. Yes, it was a good one, and I'm not really surprised that she would struggle with the clouds, although she may not have done. But clouds are a nightmare, and you wonder, well, perhaps if I don't put the clouds in, and she could have done that, but that's giving in. it's a good thing to do because gradually confidence is gained, especially if you do other subjects as well,
Mm.
and you get the idea of putting the. And you're right about the crushing of the paper. That is the one thing that can happen, mainly
Yeah.
because you don't put enough base colour on, and or too much base colour on, either or.
I think that's what I did when I was doing it. I was putting too much base color on because then I needed to get to that dark. Like she's got to that dark, no problem. It looks like I struggled getting to that darkness, because I thought I'd obviously started to crush it and I couldn't get any more pastel on.
That's right. Well, she would have
Um,
put the base colour on there, and you can almost see through that dark. But it's wonderful. I mean, I'm very impressed, and she should be. One of the good things I'd like to pick up on it, once you get something like this that you really enjoy doing, and you are quite good at, it gives you confidence. Now that confidence will stretch right through your life in different ways. It's being able to achieve something. And once you
mm,
achieve that, I mean, obviously, she wants to carry on, definitely carry on. Try other subjects as well. She might be particularly good at animals if she tries animals. But keep at it. But
mm.
as you get on, I found myself that you become competent in other things as well, not just in the putting together of a picture.
I hadn't realized that actually, especially for a 13-year-old, to have achieved this and to build your confidence in this. I hadn't thought of that transferring to other aspects of your
Oh,
life, but
it would, yeah.
it makes sense.
It does, very much so. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've had a few younger people. One particular young lady I remember, she was, I think she was only 13 when she first came to me. This was while I was doing workshops. And she came and then she did about 4 or 5 workshops on the trot with me. It was a one-day workshop I had. And she was getting better and better and better and better. In the end, I just had to give up that particular venue, but I'm sure she's gone on for greater heights now. But and you could see the confidence grow as each workshop came along, and it got
Mm,
very enthusiastic. So it's
mm,
lovely to see that in a younger person.
mm. Well, thank you, Mary, for sharing this, and please do let us know how your daughter's getting on. It's lovely to see the confidence and the work already being so good. So definitely keep us posted. I thought that was a really lovely thing to share, and just goes to show how applicable our classes are to lots of different ages and younger and older. So that's lovely. Another another question that came in our private Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're not actually inside the group, then go to Facebook and search for Colin Bradley School of Art students, and you'll see, and you can request to join that group and engage in all the conversation and see the lovely work that's being shared. But this question came in from Sam, and we've got a sequence of pictures to show, so I'll cycle through them. But as you can see, Sam writes in the Facebook group, "Hi, Colin. I'm struggling to get my beading on the horse and bridle white. Can you tell me which white pastel pencil you used? Thank you in advance, Sam." So
Mm.
she posted this. So do you want to answer that question first, Adam, and then tell me why you've done this sequence of
Well,
pictures?
let's deal with the problem. You can see that those beads were meant to be white. And it doesn't matter what white you use, even if you use the one that I like, which is the oh gosh, I can't remember now. It's a general white
You've
charcoal
got
pen.
you've got the white Faber. The white pit Faber is the one that you use for this.
That's yes, that's what yeah. But you're never going to get that white again because you've basically contaminated the bead. So the answer here is in the next. Are you going to do the sequence
I
for
am. I'm going to show you. You want me to show the
go to the
next one?
next one, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Because what I did, I actually, here we are. I did this on my horse. I've got to tell you, this was that's yours. This is mine on the right. Okay. Now what I've got in there is the double-ended eraser. I've got where is it? I've got it here somewhere. I haven't got much of it left now. That's a double-ended eraser. I was using the white end. Okay, that's the hard end of the rubber, and I was taking off. I've taken the first one off. You know that you can see. You can see how much whiter it is.
Mm.
Now, and the next two above that are going to have the same treatment. In other words, I've got to take it off. You've got to take it back. You've got to take all that contamination off. I mean, mine was all right, but I didn't have his to use, so I've had to use my one. But you can see that that's what I've done first. That's the first thing to do.
Okay. So then the
That's
next
now this is
shot.
the 101. This is the white. Okay. You can see if you look at the beads now. I mean, they look a bit grubby, but if you look at the paper, which is alongside it, that's why I've left that paper there. You can see it's the same colour, slightly contaminated, bound to with colour on it. You're back to where you were really. In other words, take it back to the beginning. And I was using 101, which is the white pencil. So go to the next one. Now you can see, look how much whiter that is now. So you've got, that's the first one, and then two underneath, I shall do the same thing too. And now this is the next one, which is 103. Now this is an ivory. What you've got to do now is just tint it slightly. So you'll see the next one, I'm tinting it slightly. You don't see a lot of difference, but it's starting to get more like the one above the blue one, because that's that one, that's been done. So that would be the next one. And now the next one is I think it's the 186 or 187. I can't remember which one it was now, but both very similar. And what I'm doing now is cutting in to make sure that I've got the roundness. Because you can see, but I'm not actually drawing on the bead itself now.
Right. Yeah, you're shaping it with the darker surround colours.
It's shaping it, so this is what you would do. And this is what I did. Now the next one is the grey. Now this is the grey. 273 I was using here. 273 to put a bit of shadow in. Not too much, just enough. Next one, now this next one, this is the dodgy one, 177. 177 is a brown. And you've got to be careful with it, because this is where a lot of people would go wrong. They would overuse it. So you'll see me apply this one next. You see? Now, if you look at it and think, oh, that's a bit dark, Colin. This is the problem, is if you make it too dark. But you'll see that in the next clip, I've used the 187 again. That tempers that darkness. So now we've got a bead that's getting close to where we want to be with it. And now I've used that's the colour shaper. The idea of this is to use a colour shaper by just to blend it in so that you have them looking more natural.
Mm.
But you'll find that when, this is it, come back to 101 again. You started with it, you're finishing with it. And there you are, there's your finish.
Interesting. So yeah, that's interesting. Let me go back to that's the final,
Yeah,
that's the finished one.
brought it back to where it was before. But you see what I mean? The process is quite simple when you look at it. You're putting the light, you get rid of the dark first of all, rub it out. It's one good thing about the pastel pencil, of course, it does erase. And then you can use the white, the ivory. Usually you've got to use the ivory, because if you use the ivory, you get a little bit of creaminess to it. And then it allows, it's like a base colour really, and then you can put the 187 and then ultimately the 177 on, and then blend it with the blender, and then finally you put the white back on again. It's a very simple system, but by golly, you can see the difference. So I
There's
hope
a
that
lot of
helped.
like tinkering, isn't there? With you've used like three or four colors there, but you've tinkered with it. You've just added a little bit of this, a little bit of that, like an ingredient, just to touch it. And that's such a small surface area that you're putting a little tiny bit of color on,
That's right.
just to to
Mm,
tweak it.
mm, that's exactly right.
So
But like I
interesting.
said, I think when we were talking about this horse originally, I wasn't going to put those in.
Mm,
I would have just, forgot them. But I'm glad I did because it did make a difference. It made the horse more attractive. And in this particular case, it's brought out another problem that now is not a problem anymore.
mm. Well, thank you, Sam, for the question, and I hope that's been helpful because we answered your question in the group, but then Dad sent me a message and said, "Hold on, I've got an idea," and took those sequence of pictures, and I think that just goes to show how you can, with pastel pencils, redeem a picture or a part of a picture that you've struggled with, and just bring it back. You know,
Mm,
literally erasing it and kind of starting again. Um, I think you mentioned before, Dad, and we've talked about this countless times, but I'll bring it up now in case people don't know this. But you can kind of only do that once, can't you? Because of the paper, and you get kind of one shot at giving it another go. And then if you make a mistake again, you can't really pull it back because you've erased that hard eraser.
that's right.
Kind of semi tarnishes, destroys the surface of the paper, doesn't it?
Just one other thing I just remembered, and I should have brought this up before we actually started, Steve. Do you remember we did a couple of weeks ago now, we showed the picture of the church and the buildings, Burley? Anyway, whatever. I did, in the end, I did actually find the same picture done by Quinton with characters in them.
Oh, yes, you did send. Shall I find this? Because I think you
Right?
sent it to me.
Well, if you, I tell you what, put the one with put the picture. If you've got it, put the picture that we had, we finished with up. Which
Your finished picture or the
no,
Quinton one?
put the finished one to start with, not the
Okay.
one with the characters in,
Okay.
because someone said, didn't they? Why you don't put characters in? And I was saying, no, you
Well,
don't.
I
Oh,
said to you,
oh,
you haven't put any characters in. It's me. I'm the one.
well, and and I said, no, you don't need characters. Well, you didn't really, and that was a really good picture. But then I saw another picture. It was in a recipe. I think he'd done it again, and he put characters in them. But I
Here's
did
here's here's your final picture. This is
that,
your finished version
which has
without any characters in that I said, it's so interesting. You haven't put any people in this picture, which is unusual. And you said didn't need it.
I did. But having seen Quinton's other picture, I still would prefer it not to have it. But I thought,
Shall I show that one? Shall I?
so yes,
So then
if
you
you
came
got that,
across this, and look what
that's
he's done.
that's right. It's the same picture. I thought, well, blimey, that shows you, doesn't it? But
I assume this is in Devon, then.
yeah, oh yes, it's Burley. Oh God, I can't remember. Steve, sorry. It's,
Anyway, it's very interesting to see this picture as well.
hmm.
Um, this
But
is quite,
I still think it would be better without those characters in there. But
but
oh, why not do it again? Show I didn't do it in the whole picture again. One of
no.
I tell you what brought it up when you were talking about rubbing out.
Yes, no.
I had
Because I
to.
assume you then had to look what you did.
There you
I
go.
like it. I like it. I think I prefer it, to be
Well,
honest.
there you go. Well, that's how it is at the moment. I haven't taken them out again.
Were they easy to add in?
For me, yes. For everybody else, no.
But you didn't film that part, did you?
No, oh no, I haven't filmed it.
No, no.
No,
The people will do the picture without people in.
I think it would be better to, because that's quite hard. I mean, for one thing, the gentleman there is leaning against a bridge, isn't he? Is that
Yeah,
leaning? Well, that's pretty hard to get that looking natural.
right.
And then the little girl, who's probably about 8, because they were dressed like that a little older. Today, they wouldn't be seen dead in it, anybody beyond 5. Well, I'm not going to try that thing. But in that case, I think that little girl was probably 8 or 9 even, could have been, as a little older. I'm guessing, because I don't know.
But you had to erase some of your picture to get them in.
I did, but not as much as you think, because if you look at where they're put on the road.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of colour in that road, so I didn't really have to do too much. I did. I had to take some of it off, but not a lot. That's the reason why I did it there. If I'd have put those horses in, and that in the other one, I'd had to take part of my house away, and I wouldn't do that.
So are they? Did you add them in just pastel pencil?
Yes,
Didn't put
yes.
watercolor in there.
I copied Quinton's picture. His 2 little characters were doing that, and I thought, oh, that's good. As I've copied his picture, I've copied his characters as well.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that you sent me that. That's a really good point.
There was another thing that we talked about the birds, didn't
Yeah.
we? And the accident there, and I decided to put the birds in. Well, what you possibly we haven't talked about, one of the chimneys is smoking. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hold on, let me zoom in to see to.
There you go. I quite like the idea of that. I thought, and I had to take a little bit of that colour off there, otherwise the green. And that was watercolour as well. I had to take the watercolour, which can erase as long as you're careful. So I put a bit of, I thought, let's have a smoking chimney as well. Again, a bit like the birds, not centre, on one side and the birds on the other side. And now we've got characters in the middle.
Fantastic.
See what fun we can have.
Nice little additions, though. I like it. I like it. That's fantastic. Good job. Well, you have started another picture. I'll save that to next week to talk about, because you've started it. You've done some stages and some steps, so we've got some of that to talk about. But before we go, I just want to mention we've added another class to the website. I'm going to pop it up on screen. This is the purple tulips, or purple tinted tulips. I don't know, but they are absolutely stunning. It's nice to see a still life go up on the site. It was great fun to edit. So you can, members of our school will have this as part of their membership, but you can enroll in this class just by itself if you want to. Just go to colinbradleyart.com and you'll search for it in the still life section. But I wanted to show that because I just think that's a stunning picture. And you did that.
It was good fun to do, and I made it like something different there, where you can see below the between the leaves and the flowers themselves, you've got kind of foggy flowers in the background, and that was quite a challenge to be able to put them in.
Yeah, it's a very atmospheric still life. I think it's very soothing, calming to look at. So yeah, give that a go.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I won't be able to show it, but I'm going to show you a picture of my lion that I've done so far.
Go on in.
There you go.
Wow, look at that.
That's it.
People have to pause it and try and. I mean, you'd be tiny because I had the tulips up, so that would be really tiny for people to see then.
Oh, well. Well, anyway, but it's coming along very well. I'm very pleased with it. So I'll show you that again next week. You will have a look at it. A couple of stages up to that.
Brilliant.
So it's very good. But it's nice. It's nice to, when you think we've got the landscape, which was nice, and flowers, and now we've got an animal.
Yeah, I don't think I've picked my next class to edit. Don't think I've picked it yet, or have I? I can't remember. The last week's a blur, to be honest.
Of course it is. Well,
um, but anyway, we'll be back next week to talk about the lion. If in the meantime anyone has any questions or anything they want us to discuss, please just get in touch with us, and we'll happily talk about it on the podcast. But we'll leave it there for this week. Thank you everyone for watching and for listening. I'm Stephen Bradley.
and I'm Colin Bradley.
Enjoy
Enjoy
your
your
week.
week.